Hey sisters, so today we're going to be discussing what natural rights are according to Locke, Wollstonecraft, and Rousseau. After that, we'll slide into the Declaration of Independence and discuss which of those philosophers showed up in different places of that document. Last but not least, we will transition into the topic of American society today and analyze how ideas from these three philosophers apply to our current society. So, you might ask, what are natural rights? Well, that depends on who you ask. See, according to Locke, natural rights can be summed up in 7 words: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. To him, the government is responsible for providing us our natural rights. If at any point the government does not do their part and bring these natural rights to us, then we have the right to overthrow said government. Locke also states that without the right to private property, then liberty is essentially non existent. Wollstonecraft follows the example of John Locke in that she also advocates for natural rights being life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. However, Wollstonecraft doesn't limit these rights to just men, instead including women into the equation. Wollstonecraft was revolutionary in this way. She argued that the two groups sharing the same rights means that women would have more opportunity to develop themselves, which in turn would enable them to become better mothers. Regarding natural rights of women, Wollstonecraft once said that she didn't wish women to have more power over men, but over themselves, meaning that just like men, women have the right to be in control over themselves. Like Locke, Rousseau also thought that it was a violation of human rights when a man has to surrender himself to the government. Rousseau's definition of natural rights is pretty simple: the government is to be chosen by the people, and if this government fails to provide for its people, the citizens can then overthrow said government. Rousseau said force doesn't create right. By this he means that men cannot be pushed into matters, whether that be government or slavery, and that is his right. One of the most historically important documents to American society is the Declaration of Independence, drafted by the colonists, clearly outlining their natural rights as men. In the opening sentence, the document states that when it is necessary, the subjects of a government disrupt the political ruling, they can. Given that this was the main reason for writing the document, it's important to know that Locke and Rousseau were the main drivers behind this idea. Frequently, the ability to overthrow an unfavorable government is talked about. This would be the work of Rousseau when he outlines the duties of citizens to rid society of an unjust government. When discussing the right of representation, both Locke and Wollstonecraft can be credited. Also, when the Declaration states that the king denied the colonists trial by jury, Locke's writing is clearly present. It is October of 2013. In current news, there's a U.S. Supreme Court nominee, Brett Kavanaugh, that has been accused of sexual assault by 3 women so far. Due to the high profile of the case and the rules of the Constitution, Brett Kavanaugh gets a trial by jury, a concept developed by Locke himself. However, it's not a real jury. The jury in this case would be the members of Congress, in which they will make the decision based on the facts of the hearing. They are the ones who decide the fate of the country. Fortunately, just like a normal court case, the jury will wait for a full report from government law enforcement before making any decisions. Without Locke, trial by jury wouldn't have never been the cornerstone of the American justice system that we love today. Many philosophers take Locke's ideas as seen previously. His writings on natural rights shaped American society today as well. The motto, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, is the base layer of America. As a democratic country, we've evolved over time and shared these rights with women, who can now have the opportunity to develop themselves. just as Wollstonecraft would have wanted. The First Amendment in our Constitution is freedom to do as you please. We have freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of religion, etc. The possibilities in American society are endless. And we can thank John Locke for a majority of that. Without Locke, we may not have the freedom that we cherish today. Alright, so that's a wrap. I really hope that you enjoyed. Have a good night.